Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel if you're new around here. My name is Hannah Hawthorne and I am Simply Witched, and this is such an exciting video because tomorrow, July 12th, 2022, my debut book, The Magick of Birthdays, is finally being birthed into the world. If you've been following along in my journey, you will know that this is a project that I have worked on for a very long time, and I am so excited to finally share it with all of you. This is an astrological, magical book, so it has witchcraft and it has astrology, and it mainly focuses on incorporating your birthday, your solar return into your practice, and continuing the momentum of that by working in sync with the sun and other celestial bodies throughout the year. This is not a one day out of the year book. There is so much information in here that I think will add an entirely new dimension to your practice. One of the main components of this book is astrology, obviously, and there are a lot of fill in the blanks in here that you will use to add your specific birth chart information into the book and make this entirely your own. It's going to help you dissect your birth chart and use it as a tool for guidance. For example, if I flip over to the planet section, it's going to say stuff like this: my Mars sign is blank. It is located in the blank house. And I'm sorry that this is backwards. But in order to fill this information out, you are going to need to know what you are looking for. And so this is the absolute basics video of astrology. I'm going to teach you how to read your natal chart. This is not what the planets mean. This is not what the signs mean. I'm going to bring a natal chart up on the screen in a second, and we're going to break down the anatomy of the birth chart. Before you can find what you're looking for, you have to know what you're looking at. And I feel like reading a birth chart is even a little bit of a lost skill within the astrology community. So even if you're not reading my book, I feel like this video will be very helpful to a lot of you. But I really would get the book. It's amazing. One of the reasons that I think it's become less common for people to know how to actually read a birth chart is because astrology has become so accessible, which is awesome. But it's made it so there's a lot of apps and websites that'll break it all down for you, and they will say you have Mercury in Gemini, for example, but they don't actually tell you how to decipher that information for yourself. And that is what I want to teach you to do. And that's really the approach that I have for astrology in general. It's a very stripped back to the basics version of astrology. I also only practice traditional Hellenistic astrology, so I'm going to be using a couple concepts in my book and also in this video that I think people might be a little unfamiliar with, and I'll walk you through those as well. For a long time, I wasn't super interested in astrology, but I think taking this approach to it has changed it and has made this such a useful tool for me and my life. It is also a tool that I use in my witchcraft practice. Now, you don't have to be a witch to practice astrology. I'll talk about this in the book, but astrology and witchcraft are separate, but I hope that this book will bridge the gap for anyone who is just a witch and is interested in astrology, or for people who are interested in astrology and they want to dive into the more magical side of things. This book is really a synthesis of those two things coming together, and also a huge insight into what my personal practice looks like. Another reason that I was never really interested in astrology was it felt unapproachable. It felt really complicated, and especially when you look at birth charts instead of these websites that'll break it down for you, it looks like a bunch of math, and that immediately overwhelms me. And at the beginning of my astrological practice, I felt myself gravitating more towards those apps and websites that would do it all for me, but I feel like it didn't give me a good foundation of what astrology actually is, and that is why I want to get everyone off to a good first step. So if I was starting astrology for the first time, I had never heard of it, this is the video that I would watch. And then this is the book that I would get. Let's begin with the actual action of casting the chart. How did I make this? I used astro.com, which is undoubtedly my favorite website for astrology. I don't use anything else, and I don't recommend that you do either. Ultimately, this is just personal preference, as is a lot of decisions that you can make as an astrologer, but in my personal and professional opinion, Astro.com is the best resource for learning and teaching yourself astrology. So we're gonna go to the website and we're going to make a chart for right now. Right now, it is Monday, July 11th, 2022, and I am located in Miami, Florida. So I'm going to cast a chart for that time and location. The thing that I really like about this website is it gives you the opportunity to cast the chart with different types of house division. The houses are a concept in astrology that we will get to, but I just want you to know that I use whole sign houses. House division is just a means, a way of splitting up the sky. And there's a lot of different ways to do it, and a lot of people don't even know that there are multiple ways, because if you cast your chart on any website, it's gonna bring up Placidus, which is kind of like the default house division that you are going to see in modern astrology. Like I said earlier, I practice traditional Hellenistic astrology where they use whole sign houses. And in my experience of reading birth charts for myself and for other people, I have found this to be the most accurate. It is also the simplest in my opinion, because you are going to see that all of the houses are the same exact size. Whole sign houses, they're all 30 degrees. Same as the zodiac signs. They're all going to add up and everything's going to look all nice and pretty. It is just simple and easy, and everything fits together like puzzle pieces. So if you've never created a profile for Astro.com, you are going to do that. Then you are going to enter your birth data, and then you are going to go to extended chart selection. And then you are going to select whole signs for the house system and calculate your chart. That is going to draw up something like this. And if you've never seen a birth chart before, this is going to look confusing as hell. And I completely understand that. But fear not, this is so much less complicated than it looks. Starting in the left-hand corner, you are going to find the birth data. This is the information that you just typed in, and it's going to calculate it up for you. It's going to tell you where and when you were born, and it's going to give you the exact coordinates of that city. Down below that, written in red, you are going to see the chart design and the form of house division. It should say natal chart, web style, whole signs, and it is also going to list your sun sign and your ascendant. These are two really prominent placements that you have. Usually in astrology spaces, you will hear people ask, what are your big three? And they are referring to your sun, moon, and rising, which is also called your ascendant sign. In terms of reading a birth chart, I think the first thing to identify is the zodiac. The zodiac is a belt of the heavens. It is comprised of 12 constellations, the 12 zodiac signs, and it's kind of like a celestial highway that all of the planets drive around on. The zodiac is a circle. It's like a racetrack, and the planets are going to go around on it and eventually make it back to the same spot. That is why you have a solar return every year, which is when the sun makes it back to the exact position it was at the moment you were born. And that's like the concept of the book. A circle is comprised of 360 degrees, and if you divide that by 12, you get 30 degrees. So all of these zodiacs are 30 degrees. 360 and divided by 12 equals 30. And don't worry, that is literally the most complicated math you will need to know, which is a big relief for me personally because math is my enemy. The zodiac begins and ends with Aries. So the first sign is Aries, and then it makes its way around through all of the signs. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. If you look down to the bottom left-hand corner of your chart, you will see all of the planets, followed by what zodiac sign and what degree of that zodiac sign they're located in. The first 7 planets are the 7 traditional planets, and they're the ones that I focus on within my practice. This is how you can tell where your planets are located. So the sun is at 19 degrees Cancer, the moon is at 18 degrees Sagittarius, Mercury is at 13 degrees Cancer, so on and so forth. You can also tell that by looking at the chart itself. If we start by finding the sun, you will see that it is located in Cancer. The first tip I have for you is learn these astrological symbols. It will make your practice of astrology so much easier once you know what you are looking at. But until then, you will have the chart in the bottom left to refer to. Aspects are the relationships between the planets. They're the conversations that the planets are having with one another, and this is going to decide how well they behave in your chart. Some of them are going to be working together to better your life, and some of them not so much. All the lines running through the center of the chart are these aspects, and the ones that are blue and red are going to have the most effect on you. Those are your major aspects. The ones that I focus on and the ones that are covered in the book are conjunction, sextile, square, trine, and opposition. And here I have written the astrological symbol for these aspects, which you can use to follow across in the aspectarian to see what conversation your planets are having with one another. Starting at the very top, the sun and the moon, they have a green aspect. This is called a quincunx. And we don't have time to get into this one, but best of luck to this person. But if you go down one, the sun and Mercury are conjunct one another. And we can see this in the chart. If you look where the sun is located in Cancer, it is sitting right next to Mercury, so it's conjunct. And this means that their energies are melding together. A conjunction happens when two planets are pressed right up against one another. And again, these are all things that I will explain in depth in the book. I just want you to be able to identify these things. You have to know what you're looking for. If you take your chart and you cut it in half, that is the ascendant descendant line. And that is where you will get your rising sign. Your rising sign is the sign that was rising over the horizon at the moment you were born. In this chart, it is Virgo, which you can confirm by looking at the red writing at the top left. It says Ascendant Virgo. Whatever sign is rising over the horizon becomes the ruler of the first house. That is the planet that you have in there. So if we look at the sun in this chart, it is located in Cancer, but it is also located in the 11th house. Every planet within your birth chart is going to be located in one zodiac sign and one house. The last thing we're going to notice in the bottom left is there is a little R listed next to some of the planets' placements. That means that those planets were retrograde when this person was born. So if you have any planets retrograde, you will be able to tell that easily there. Down below that, you're going to have some specific info written for your AC, your MC, and some of the houses. This is just kind of like a reiteration of where things were. Birth charts do a great job of putting the same information multiple places just so you can look at it quickly as a glance if you need to. In this chart, the ascendant or the rising sign is Virgo. The MC, which is your midheaven. This is the highest point in the chart. This is the most visible thing, and it is what this person is known for publicly. If you want to know anything about career, that is where you look. This person's midheaven is Gemini. Their second house is Libra. Their third is Scorpio. 11th, Cancer, and 12th, Leo. The next little box we're going to check out is just this little thing on the right here. This is where you're going to find the elemental qualities of the chart. The 12 signs are divided into the 4 elements, and these are also called their triplicity. The first box there is fire, the next air, earth, then water. And you will also notice that this entire birth chart is color coordinated. Anything that is a fire sign is red, anything that is an air sign is that yellow orangey color, anything that is earth is green, and anything that is water is blue. That is what the horizontal axis of that means, but then you also have this vertical line. These are the signs' modalities, which are another description and qualification that the signs have. They can be cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And again, all of this is in the book. But here you can take stock and check the energy of a chart very quickly just by glancing. I can tell that this person has a lot of fixed earth placements. So whoever this is, extremely stubborn. Best of luck again. That is pretty much how you read a chart, so I hope this video was helpful for you in explaining what exactly you were looking at and looking for, so you can take the information that you find within it and explain what that means by yourself. Now that you know what you are looking for, This is going to cover what that means. This book is going to ask you, what sun sign do you have? What house is it located in? What does that mean for you? Do you have a stellium? Do you have a day and night chart? Are your planets working together to help you out? Or are they setting up specific roadblocks that you're going to have to overcome in your life? And if you know what they are, it'll make it easier to get over them. My book, The Magick of Birthdays, will be available tomorrow anywhere books are sold. And I hope this video is helpful if you need a little bit of a jump start. And even if you stumble across this video and you have never seen me or my content before, I hope this was helpful in your astrology journey. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support on my content and on my book. The next time I will see you will be next week, so this will be birthed into the world for already almost a week at that time, and I just hope that you get as much out of this as I tried to put into it. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I am just excited to finally share this with you. That is all I have for you today. So until next time, have a magical rest of your day. Blessed be, and goodbye, everyone.